I see our airport commissioner here, so I'm going to move you up on the docket. Your flight is going to leave a little earlier today. Mr. Mayor.
Well, good afternoon, Mayor Tanaka and council members. It's been a real busy summer over at the Airport Commission. We've got some good press, we've got some bad press, but you know that comes with the territory. I'd just like to go over a couple items that I gave you each a little bit of a write-up on what's going on, I think that's of interest to you. First, the 10 new gates over on Terminal 2 have been approved. They've gotten through the EIR process. Excuse me. And we've decided to go with a design-build contract, so we've already started the design portion of that and are refining the design, and then they'll start actually building also here very soon. The funding is going to be $1 billion, and that includes about $875 million for the project, and the other $125 million is in the financing of the project. There will be bonds floated. We're using commercial paper at the time to start, and then we'll be putting bonds on the street for the rest of the funding for that. The expectation is that we'll be completed by 2013. That'll be the 10 new gates and the whole parking area. Taxiway C will be upgraded, which is the north taxiway, and some other parts of the project. One of the things that we're looking forward to in the near future is a possible consolidation rental facility on the north side, which would put all the rental cars on the airport then instead of scattered all over. So that'll begin our master planning very soon. We just got started yesterday on working with Sandag on the intermodal transportation center, and in fact, just as I was leaving, I got a note on my email that it's going to be on the Transportation Committee's agenda this Friday, that they're going to be talking about that. So it is a beginning. This is part of the Destination Lindbergh discussion about an intermodal transit center. And it will be, the problem, of course, is it's on airport land, but it's going to be built by Sandag. So you've got too many agencies involved here, and we have to iron out all the legal stuff first to see how that works out. As you can see, as far as passengers, it's been a kind of a rough year. The fiscal year ended with a 10% decrease in enplanements. The good news from the airport's perspective is that we've been evaluating our budget all the way along and rebudgeting and cutting expenses so that we ended up in the black once again for this fiscal year. The prognostication for the future doesn't look too good. As you all know, in the airline industry, the fall is one of the worst times for airlines until we get to Thanksgiving and then the Christmas season. So we're looking again at a decrease in available seats. Ranging from the most this month of August, and then September will be the less, and then it starts to improve a little bit in October. So again, we've planned that in the budget cycle, and we're hoping to do well in that area. The incentive program that you may have read about in the newspaper, we have an international incentive program already. That was Zoom Airlines and British Air and things like that, a whole menu of different ways of trying to incentivize them to come to give us another destination to fly to in the international arena. We have not done that in the domestic arena, so that's what we're doing now. The idea is to incentivize either a new airline to come and give us another destination like a Fresno or some place that we don't fly to anymore, and or an existing airline could also, if they open up a nonstop, it can't be a one-stop type deal. It's got to be a nonstop. And we're going to have, again, look at different ways of trying to incentivize that, landing fees, lower rental rates, and things like that. One of the lessons we learned with Zoom was we gave them a one-year deal, and they went bankrupt in 6 months, so we lost a little bit of money on that deal, and we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to have established letters of credit, and we'll make sure that we're covered in that respect. I guess the last item, well, there's one other item that I didn't include on here, and if anybody wants to discuss it, we'd be happy to. The audit committee, of which I'm the vice chair, is looking at a new way of travel and expense money for not only the board members, but also the whole staff over at the Airport Authority. It's been brought up in the press and kind of spun a certain way. The rules are there. They've been very flexible, but very defined, and I think the idea is to maybe tighten them up a little bit so that it's more black and white instead of gray. And that's what our audit committee will be working on that, and we should have probably new rules in effect within the next 2 to 3 months.
Chairing that committee.
Charlene Zettel. The last item, of course, is something near and dear to Coronado's heart, and that has to do with the land use around North Island. We're still awaiting the ACUs. I think with the change of command over at North Island, it's going to mean that it's going to be set back a little bit because now the new CO has got to put his imprint on it, and it has not. We have not heard anything at the airport. The Navy is very quiet on this issue and has not been dealing with the airport staff on it. So it's going to be either it's going to just come out and hit the street and everybody's going to be surprised. We do have a good feeling with the work that we did at Miramar that we'll be able to grandfather a lot of our land uses in effect. And I think that one of the things in some of our meetings that we've had recently with a auxiliary group that's been helping us out on this and giving us input is that we're probably going to get it to a point where before the land use is actually determined by the board is that there will be very close interface with the local jurisdictions on their feelings about this. Because the idea is we want to bring you something that you can accept. We don't want the 4/5 ruling that you can overturn. That's not the objective. The objective is to get something that works for everybody.
Plus, wouldn't everyone be in sort of the same boat in that they have some existing land uses if they're near a runway? And I mean, Coronado's not unique in that way, I would think, right?
No, ours is just unique in that it's the ACUs becomes a mandatory document, which it has never been in the past. And the ACUs is much more restrictive if you take it what it says on the paper than the type of land uses that we're working with the other type of airports in the county. So that's why it's a little different for Coronado than those other ones. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Question, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Is this an appropriate subject for the City Navy meeting at some point in time to see if we can?
We can work on that. We have not had a Naval Complexes meeting yet with the new CO, and we want to give him a little bit of time to get his everything ready to go for him. But I certainly think that's something we will discuss
Thank you.
sooner.